there. Yeah, Vin and Code are hard to get on. I've tried. It's not, and it's going to happen. And look, I'm not.
They're busy.
Yeah, that's it. They're just busy, and I know how it is because I can't, keep up. So it's tough. I think maybe if the weather's nicer, it's a good place to visit for a weekend. I'll get Vin, maybe bring the family down or something like that. Same thing with Cody. I'd love to have him come down and enjoy the island for a couple days as part of being on the podcast. That would be nice. So
Vinny, Cody, if you're listening,
yeah,
this one's for you. I can't. Yeah, no,
I think we'll have them on. I mean, I'd even like to have like Jason Poole on or like Christian, like Welter, or I'm trying to think who else. Pretty much.
You should have Christian and Nick if you can. Nick Hansford, the old mechanic.
Yep.
Because those guys were crazy.
Yep, they were crazy.
They were wild men.
Wild.
They would eat anything.
Yeah.
Anything. If it was rotting.
Yeah, Nick was a beast, wasn't he?
A beast.
Like, Nick would go out every night to bars and just knock people out.
Yep. He would punch his friends.
Just because he couldn't go home until he did.
He was a sweetheart, too. Make no mistake. I love Nick.
He was a big-hearted guy, but when he drank, he was just...
I'd go to the bar with him, right? And I put my credit card or whatever behind the bar, like we were going to go belly up, start drinking.
Yep.
And we'd start drinking, and then he would get a little crazy, and then he'd hit, boom, uppercut to the ribs.
To you?
Yeah. And
he got real handsy.
I'd leave the card there and just go home.
You're like, I'm not dying tonight.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, he was nuts. Him and Christian were both crazy. Both great guys, but
beautiful.
When they went out drinking, man, poof. It was just a matter of time.
Reminds me. I was just as bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting into altercations, though,
No, me neither. I never been like that. Misbehaving, maybe. But not trying to hurt anyone. Except for you when you were younger.
I don't remember this. This guy's fucking digging it up. It's just like churning. I'm getting tilled here.
I'm totally kidding. I guess I think, man, I felt like growing up, I had like a lot of anger issues just thinking about being like a teenager. Like, even like I'd say from like 8 on, I felt like I was had some anger issues, and I had younger siblings
your dad
to
was
take
an
it out on.
alcoholic.
Yeah, that's true. So that's definitely did.
Customary.
I just wonder how that shakes out. Like, what's normal? Because we used to fight all the time.
I go into my basement and punch the floor because of you.
Maybe not
at night after dinner.
Maybe not with him because he was younger. Probably me and my brother Dan probably fought a little bit more. I think sometimes we both would
beat you up. Yeah, I remember that. And then I'd beat up our sister who was younger, and then they'd beat me up for doing that.
Yeah, you know what we would do? We'd go on these long trips, right? And me and Dan would be in like the back seat. And Michael would be in like the front bucket seat. And, we'd be like, hey, how much longer? Being real annoying. My father's screaming in the back seat. Yeah. Shut up.
One more time. Reaching back.
I won't use the words because you can't use those words anymore. But he would call us every name in the book, and he'd be trying to hit us.
Reaches, man. You go over the road. Like the third seat in the back, in the station wagon.
I remember one time, man, I signaled to my brother Danny, who was sitting next to me, and Michael was right in front of me in the chair. And we like punched him up real bad, like.
One of them grabbed me with clasped hands around the face.
I did, and I reached over the top of the seat.
I couldn't breathe and I couldn't yell
with my hands clasped, and I held him into the seat.
Really funny,
just so he wouldn't be screaming. And then we let it go, and he was like, when you're not letting out any sound, but you're crying, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, like when you're struggling tied up. That's funny.
We were just trying to
talk about John Wayne Gacy's victims as well while we're at it.
I don't know.
But that's common stuff. Like I don't harbor anything for that. As a matter of fact, I think
you're
funny,
right. I think you're right. I don't think it's. I don't feel like I was like a mass murderer when I was a kid or anything.
I worked for a guy, or I had a friend. I won't say who that I worked for, but his brother used to torture him when he was younger.
Yeah,
yeah, like literally, man.
Yeah. You got tortured, didn't you, Nate?
I didn't get tortured,
no.
but
you got
me
that
and my brothers,
tortured look in your face.
No, yeah.
Did you guys fight?
I'm scarred.
Did you fight?
We always fought.
Like fist and cuffs?
Rarely.
Yeah, see, we never really fought like that. No one in our family ever got, like, when we got into our teen years, we would have blowout arguments.
I remember thinking I could punch him in the face one time, though, when I was younger, and I did, I was like, and he, boom, he punched me right back in the face.
I did.
Yeah, and I've only punched a few people in the face since.
Yeah. I remember you punched a guy in the face and your hand swelled up.
Yeah.
His tooth was in your back of your hand.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Must have punched the shit out.
I was hitting him, yeah. Yeah.
Your hand, dude.
I was
the next
hitting
day,
him. I was
this
teeing
is
off
when
on this guy on the double yellow line in the middle of the road, and I was walking with a girl, and she screamed, and it snapped me out of it. But I was in some kind of a blind fury.
You were like so angry you didn't even know.
Yeah, I remember he told me exactly that the next day. Wow. That he was in like a blackout of
what
Yeah,
happened?
and I wasn't even
what
drunk.
happened to him?
I mean, I was drinking, but I wasn't drunk.
Oh, he's dead.
He's just
Yeah,
killed
he's
him.
dead. I killed him, but they never caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story.
You got rid of the tooth, the evidence, get rid of all that.
It wasn't in his hand, but he must have got like an
I think I got an incisor right in the knuckle
somewhere
joint.
like in the knuckle.
No joke.
And then I'm telling you, by the next day it was swollen. It was like it got like bit by a cat type swollen.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Oof. And then I went to the fair, the Ulster County Fair, and I was Steppenwolf was playing.
Oh, really?
They were playing like their hits. And I went to go, I don't know, play one of the games like where you throw the thing into the fish tank or whatever.
Right.
And the carny who was like a junkie drying out there was like, holy shit, your fucking hand looks bad. And then I grabbed something, and it was like the Evil Dead. It was disgusting, man. I almost passed out.
Oh, dude.
I remember the smell of fried dough, the sound of the calliope, and like those light bulbs, those dressing room light bulbs.
You know it's bad when carny folk are saying your hand looks bad.
Yeah. It's time to check in, It's time to check in.
Wow. Damn. That's a good story, man. I never heard that part.
I forgot about that.
It's good, though.
I feel bad about punching the guy in the face.
Yeah, yeah. And no one ever, well, some people like that. I would feel bad, too. You should feel bad.
I do. But it makes a good story.
It's a great story.
So I don't feel that bad, do I?
And at least you didn't get your face punched in.
Yeah, amen to that. I look
Because I'll
like
take
I did.
the opposite any day. If it's going to go down, it might as well be his face getting punched,
Amen to that, man. And I think it says something about that in the Bible.
I'm sure you could back it up somewhere.
Somewhere.
This is a good question. Going back to the show here a little bit. So, why did some of the bikes built not go to the customer? Like the Yankees bike, the Jets bike, there's some.
Yeah,
these get commissioned.
We've addressed this a few times.
Yeah.
So 99% of the bikes we've built really have gone towards the customers. We have a small handful, even with what my father has. But in the early days, we built bikes as tribute in between the bikes we were building for companies. Over a period of time, every single build was for a company, and quite often they would introduce a charity. So we got paid and we were able to help people out, if that makes any sense, Mm-hmm. And so, but the ones we kept are like the MLB bike I got back through a sweepstakes. They did a sweepstakes on the MLB network. People want it. I bought it back from them. The build-off bikes, I did my deal so I could keep them. A lot of people know about the Yankees bike here because that got damaged. Me and my father restored it, kind of tweaked it, and I ended up buying that one back. So, there's a handful of bikes out there that we have that were either some sort of tribute, like on my father's side, like the fire bike. Like no one bought the fire bike. We just built that to pay our respects to 9/11 and the 343 firemen that died in it. And so, some of that stuff like that, my father has a lot of those bikes. That's why he has so many of those, because that first season we built a lot of bikes like that. It was more entertainment without the marketing side of it, without these once the company started coming in and realized what the show was and the ratings was, we pretty much did mostly build. I mean, we did charitable stuff still, but it became much more corporate. And those bikes live with the corporations because, to be honest with you, they still use those bikes for marketing and advertising. The bike never it's a character from the show. So just like say the Miller electric bike, that was like an early. And that was a really good brand because we were using the Miller Electric welders forever. And so that bike now still travels around. People see it and they remember it being built. So it has a marketing, then it starts up a conversation and then they're using it as a marketing tool, right? It's like how you get brands in people's mouths, and that's how they do. So these bikes really, they work forever. It's crazy,
Yeah.
And I think with that, Paul, just being here at your showroom when, there's people coming in the summer, I've heard some people ask, well, how much is it? Is it for sale?
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
Well,
almost,
they don't know what I'm doing here because I got like this crazy building full of signs and these wild motorcycles, and I'm in the middle of Long Beach Island where no one thinks I belong. They're like, what are you doing here? And then they think, well, you must sell motorcycles, if they're not familiar. And I just sell hats and T-shirts.
Yeah,
You know,
these
it's
bikes are not for sale.
No, they're not for sale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to actually. I would, I've talked about this. I wouldn't mind getting a few back. Just don't want to pay the Paul Jr. price because
Right.
Oh, you got to go through like a third party.
Yeah.
Some guy who wears sweatpants.
I wonder if Nate makes some phone calls for me. You know?
See what we can do.
Nate's got money on his voice. You need someone like me to knock on the door.
Yeah.
Hi. Even though he'll recognize me.
Ums for the poor.
Yeah, let's just cut him a break, honey. You hate that bike anyways.
Good. A lot of people here are asking, like, getting the crew together for another build. Is that something you guys would do?
I mean, I would do that. I would love to do that. Even when Rick was here, I was thinking maybe, I hadn't really seen him in so long, and I really couldn't help but think about the potential for doing something together again. I don't know if like a whole build like we did on American Chopper, but even to do little projects together and stuff would be fun. everybody's getting a little older. It's nice to like
collaborate.
Yeah, collaborate. Yep. Maybe help each other out a little bit. Rick, he's doing his distillery, stuff like that. Maybe do something for that.
Could help him drink it.
I could help him drink it.
Right?
Which, by the way, he still hasn't sent me any samples. So
that bastard.
Come on,
He
Rick.
sent me
you know
a
what?
sample.
I'm not doing anything with Rick.
Rick sent me a
Now
sample,
I
but
think about it.
but it was a urine sample.
I'm not doing anything with Rick.
Yeah. I won't say.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would like to do something like even with Vin and Cody, like all these guys. And I've thought about this because it would be cool to get everyone back together and do like a legit big build. It's just logistically very challenging.
Yeah.
But I think it would make great content. I think the fan base would love it, especially if we got back together. I'll tell you why.
Sure, you figure out something that you could build a little quicker, or just a part of it. I don't know.
No, it's fine. Well, I'll tell you why, because I feel like the fun is still there. You see how me and him are together and we like to have fun. You bring all these other guys in and that dynamic comes right back into play.
Oh, yeah, away.
From 20 years ago, 10 years ago.
Start goofing around.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Rick's role would be the same when Vin's here as it was back in the day. It's just personalities and the way we talk. I think Vin would have so much fun on this podcast, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool to
I should have elaborated.
It'd be cool
definitely,
if you guys like spent a week and just did it, like the
Because Vinny remembers everything, and he and I traveled together a lot.
Yeah, so
we were like the B squad, right?
Yeah, yep.
And we traveled quite a bit. And he whenever I go to his shop, he reminds me of the things that we used to do. I remember a lot of them. Sometimes I need a bell rung, and some I don't remember at all.
Yeah.
But he's very clear in his
Vin's always
recollection.
been like that. Vinny remembers everything, even from when we were younger.
Yeah.
He remembers everything. My brother Danny's like that. We were dogging how he stirs the pot.
Yeah.
But he's like that. He remembers my stats from football, what games we played, who we played.
Yeah.
It's all just one game in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He also used to pick winners for my dad. Right, gambling.
Yeah, I think
on the football games.
Didn't he pick the?
When he was like 6.
Yeah.
He knew how to pick winners.
Vinny did?
No, my brother.
your brother.
Yeah,
your
we
brother.
jumped. I
We're
jumped because
hopping
when
around.
it came to the memory thing, my brother Danny has a really good memory for.
But so
for
does
the past.
Vin. Vin's like a picture perfect guy, right? Or a picture photographic.
Yeah, no, I think that that's what makes Vinny such a good mechanic, because when you teach him something, he retains it. And then he probably improves upon it, or he applies it in different areas, and you build upon that. That's part of having a good mechanical kind of mind, especially for different types of cars and engines, and you have to have an aptitude for that type of stuff. And a memory, I think, is really important.
And he's a dedication to doing the right job.
Yeah, well,
doing the correct job.
Doing it right.
Doing
the job right. Yeah,
doing the job right.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
Do you guys ever go back and watch old episodes of the show?
I don't really, but I saw the Black Widow episode. I got to tell you, I love watching old episodes, and I never do. I don't know why.
Really?
I never liked watching them before, but now, I watched the Black Widow episode, the first 1 hour.
Yeah.
And man, dude, we should watch that.
You're pretty far removed, right?
You're completely removed. You're watching it like almost a different person.
Oh yeah, I am.
We all No, we all are. You
No,
know what
I know
mean?
it. I know it. I know. What is it? 20 years now? Some of those.
Yeah,
episodes?
that's what I'm saying. Like perspective is like me and Dad aren't in that position. I'm watching it almost purely as a viewer.
Yeah, there's no fresh
You know what I mean?
feelings.
It's like the show changed for me.
Gotcha.
Now your dynamic changes. You know?
What do you like about it when you go and see it?
I love seeing myself young, and it's not that I feel any kind of way like, oh, I got to be young. I just like seeing myself at that stage with the way I talked, the way I looked, how much more weight I had.
Yeah, higher pitched voice.
Just
a lot
like,
of
hey, pop, that's how we were, and it's like we're
voice
arguing.
really that high?
I like how, I was watching like a clip the other day that we posted, and I keep like, we're yelling across the shop or something, and I'm just looking so young,
So
I had
young.
my hair, I had all
Vitality.
my hair,
Vitality.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, it's been like, how many people can say that their history has been preserved in this capacity in which ours has for like well over a decade of our adult lives? Think about it.
Yeah.
That is like, there's like 300 episodes or however many episodes we did chronologically. I mean, for 10 years it went on. So if you start in the beginning, go to the end, we're 10 years older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a massive body of my life.
Yeah.
With some really highlight moments.
Sure. It's a transition from being a young man to a middle-aged man.
Thank you.
No, that's good.
Old fart.
Old fart, man.
A lot of people are saying how good you look, Mike. They're like, man, Mike.
They're lying.
I've been seeing that for
thank
like
you very much.
almost every video we put up that has you in it. They're like, Mikey looks so good. It's like, and they want
That's
to know.
only because I used to look so bad. Like
So-
right now I look so. Really, but
Well, I think you and I were talking off camera. It was like it's not so much what you are doing, but what you aren't doing anymore. Because obviously we talked. You're not drinking anymore.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were
no
wondering,
more
like,
pill popping.
yeah, no more of the hard stuff, huh?
No more of the hard stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I ruined it for myself.
yeah,
Yeah, I can't even have a fucking beer.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody was dancing, dancing and having a good time at the my niece's sweet 16 the other night. And it's not that I feel like I really want to drink. It's that I'm not in the same.
Everybody's in a better mood.
Oh, they're in a way better mood than me. I mean, really, that's the skinny of it. I won't deny that. But I mean, I'm not in a bad mood. You know what I mean? It's just you're on a different page.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't take me up on being a DD. Go and drive anyways. They do. And this, what was I going to say? Oh, the other day I was at a friend's house and his girlfriend was there. And I don't know why, but she poured these shots of red wine that were like 2 ounce, like the party shots. They were in plastic. And I was like, I don't drink. And she's like, come on. It's just a drink. It's just a sip. And then I pantomimed it, but it's just so some people don't understand it all.
Yeah.
They just think you're weak.
Yeah.
Which is
Weak-minded.
partially correct.
Well, I know, some people would be like, "Oh, just one," and it's like you've gone so many years. What would one even do? Like, if I'm gonna have one, I'm gonna want 20.
Amen to that.
You know?
Yeah. And then next thing you know, the table's flipped over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's either flipped over or I'm under it.
With no clothes on.
Yep. I lost all my money in poker to one of my friends,
Right.
I used to have a friend, we'd get drunk and we'd cheat each other at blackjack
Oh, yeah?
every weekend. And one of us would wind up with the other one all their money. It's rotten. Okay.
You guys talked about Hudson, Paul's son.
Oh yeah.
I've only been
He's a
working with
sharp,
Paul.
sweet kid.
I've only been working with Paul for a couple of years, and that guy, that kid's
He's growing up like a little bean sprout. He's a little bean sprout, man.
Yeah.
He is. He's giant.
Does he doesn't show any interest, or does he know about the show? Have we talked about that? Has he
Yeah,
watched episodes?
No, he doesn't watch it.
No.
He doesn't really care.
He says
he
knows.
He knows. Well, I have zero
Is there
riz.
no riz,
Zero
Dad?
riz. He said I had zero riz.
Zero,
man. No, he never watches the show, man. And I don't ever try and get him to, I don't really care because eventually he'll know how cool I am, And, but for right now, I just like him the way he is, man. I'm not trying to make him feel any kind of way. Yeah. He knows because we travel and, he sees what people come up and We take random places all the time at restaurants or wherever. So it's not like he doesn't.
Last night at the restaurant, people wanted photographs, right?
Yeah,
he thought that was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool.
You know,
Yeah,
and
I thought so.
I'll pull him in. He kind of likes I pull him in. Not that he's not a ham or anything. He just likes that he's with Dad. You know?
That's cool.
And that's cool. So it's good. Eventually he'll watch it. I think he'll enjoy it.
You guys try to give him a little slack to learn, like figure out what he likes, right?
I think if it was different people and not us, like if someone else had done American Chopper like the way we did and it was removed, I think he would like that show. Because you see how he is with that stuff. He likes process. He likes dynamic, like
very patient kid.
Yeah.
And tedious and patient. Yeah. We watched a silent film the other day. It was like an hour and 13 minutes.
He liked it?
He liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
For a kid, you wouldn't think that.
No, you wouldn't. But he's got he's just interesting like that.
Yeah.
Very, very creative mind. Very creative.
Yeah.
Was he in the Minecraft, right?
Yeah, he's into Minecraft.
Because that movie just came out.
Movie just came out. Yeah, not yet. We were at the Sweet 16 party for my nieces the day it broke every. Oh yeah, it looks phenomenal.
Yeah,
it looks like a great movie. You know, like the way it's done, the characters they pick to play the roles. He's excited. We were actually thinking about maybe going tonight. We should just go.
We should go.
Let's go.
I'll go see.
Theaters right down the street.
You know, it's easier than watching the game get played because it makes me sick after like 20 minutes.
It does. It gets your equilibrium kind of like, if they're moving around too fast.
Yeah, they spin. But I guess you get used to that, right? Otherwise, kids would be puking all day.
Yeah, and I was always against video games, but I feel like in certain measure, it's good. And I'll tell you, his reading has improved because he's had to read things in order to play the game, and it's forcing him. So I think it really helped him along. It gave him like a practical application to like learn to read.
He read the whole silent film.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he's been doing great with that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons we moved here, because when we came here, he was struggling a little bit in Montgomery. Now, this was 3 years ago, so he was much younger. But once we came here, man, it just, in the past year, he's really come around, and he's like straight A's now. And that's the reason why we came to the island.
Good.
Just for the schools here.
It's the sea air.
It is the sea air.
Yeah. The schools are really good here.
They are, and it's 10 kids, 2 teachers, I mean, it's better than some private schools, I'll tell you that much right now. It really is. He gets everything he needs.
No shit.
And he loves school. Can't even believe it, man. I just hated school.
I hated it.
I mean, I hated school in a way that just I would like try and pretend I was sick all the time when I was a kid, you know? And he loves it, man. Social, does
I can't
good.
imagine, because I really hated school.
I know.
Ugh.
I think that's a lot when it comes to developing it, because it was an uphill battle for me. I mean, I wasn't good academically, and we had a lot going on as kids, so I feel like things were a little tough at home. And so we had like a lot of stress, and I was the oldest, so I probably saw more early on, and that just always was carried with me. So I brought it to school with me, and I just didn't feel secure, I think.
And you bring it home, shit flows downhill, beat up his younger brother.
Mike's really traumatized.
I wasn't, but
now it's bringing up old memories.
He's wondering if he should be.
I know, right?
This is fresh
He's like,
trauma.
what have I blocked out of my mind?
What kind of shit you go haywire
Yeah.
over?
All the
What kind of
stuff
horrors?
This is a cool picture someone sent. Let me get the name here. Shelly. She found these at an antique store, and she bought them. Check these out. You guys were Pez dispensers.
We're antique. I wonder if I got cases.
That's the
of
crown
those.
jewel of endorsements, I think, there, right? Paul?
I think so. You know what's so interesting about these Pez dispensers? We were the first living Pez dispensers. They took a chance on us. So in other words, all the other Pez dispensers that they had done, people had already passed on, so that they couldn't tarnish the Pez name. That was their branding theory. And when they came to us, the show was so big, I think they just threw their morals out the window. Not
right
really.
out the window.
Not really. But, they were like, we're going to take a chance on you guys. And they made us the first living Pez dispenser. So we were alive while we were a Pez.
Yep, and I never got a Dewey.
We never
So
got
it
a
didn't
Dewey.
ruin the
There you
name
go.
of
We didn't
Pez.
tarnish it.
Well, how about that?
Paul never got arrested for what he used to do.
Well, that's cool. That's a little fun fact about that. So, Shelly, hang on to those Pez.
Yeah, hang on to those. They're going to be, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. I bet you really can't find them. And here's the thing too, Shelly, be careful with that. Because if you bump them, one or two will come out. And if you don't want to open it, if it's still sealed, it may not be, then you're going to it's going to look terrible. There's no way to get us back in the compartments.
That's the collection dealer guy in you.
That's right.
Giving her the old.
That's right. Careful.
Because you've had that happen.
I think, when they're all intact like that, I think that's much rarer than other ones.
Oh, a lot
where
of
Paul Senior's on his side, Yeah,
and you want to keep it sealed, right? So you shake
it around. It looks good. You don't need to take them out. It's like it's already framed up right in the case. So
I thought it was cool looking.
Yeah,
we'll have to post that picture up because it's a great picture, and they're in good shape. It's still in the box. And
I got like
I see that. Quick.
Once I pull it up here, you go.
I got like cases of them. I could sell them. to you if we could have a bidding war.
It's in really good condition.
Yeah. I wonder what she said.
Like the lens or the plastic in the front hasn't yellowed.
Right. What bike is on there?
Nah, not on those. No, they're not.
What bike is that, Paul?
That is no idea. Oh, it's some random.
Just a
it's like everything. It's like a T-Rex with a paint job. It's nothing like.
I gotcha.
Nothing purpose built. I mean, nothing like theme. We used a lot of generic stuff back then because there was a separation between American Chopper.
Yeah.
The television show, and Orange County Choppers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we couldn't use like the fire bike on that. We would need to get permission from Discovery. So for a while, we weren't able to use the bikes. And then we did this co-branded deal with them. And then we were able to both use the bikes. And then we supported them. They supported us, meaning the two brands. But all the while, dude, Orange County Choppers remained 95% of the market. And American Chopper did pretty well, but it never was able to keep up with our authenticity of what we were. People wanted the shirts we wore, the hats we wore. They didn't want some variation of it. And we were very simple.
They wanted the OCC logo and brand as opposed to the American Chopper.
And it's wild too, man, because it's simple logo.
And the name of the
shirts.
show is American Chopper. You said they must have done a bad job promoting.
I don't think so. I think we did a good job promoting. That's the difference. We marketed ourselves with. We just said, you know what? We were coming from the mentality of like when you go to the motorcycle shows, everyone wears their own shirts for their own companies.
Yeah.
So when we came into television, we had a mentality like we're branded. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the right mentality, I think.
It is, but that we just carried that translated through the show. Yep. And then those simple shirts with the sword on the back and the OCC logo on the front was like king, dude. One color, simple as you can make a shirt.
I still have 3 of those, right? And they're tethered. I can't wear them out of the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
they're
I wear
like
them. Rags. But really, the most comfortable shirt I've ever worn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are the first shirts we ever made.
I think you guys were shooting for the stars there.
The first one
you went to.
What's that?
You went to China.
No,
you didn't go to China.
No, we didn't go to China. But with the first shirts we ever made to sell, we brought to Daytona, and it was of my Spider-Man bike, which precedes the Black Widow, and it had the logo in the middle of a spider, or a spider in the middle of a logo, and that was our first shirts ever, and nobody even knew who we were when we brought those out. We barely sold any, and then when the show hit, we did the OCC logo with that sword on the back, black shirts, white print, simple,
Pimp shirt. It was pimp.
It was, man.
By today's standards of design, it's kind of streamlined and cool looking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think we got to talk about Paul Senior. I know he gets brought up a lot. I can tell you from a fan's perspective, right? I was watching one of the episodes, I think when you guys went on Leno, and he's backstage, and he's like tasting some of the food and spitting it out. I don't know what it is.
Oh, was he doing that on camera?
Yeah, and he's like making
that's like
these faces.
His famous thing to do.
I just thought it was so funny.
Right?
He did that, his entire ironworking career too. This guy Bob, remember Bob Gillette?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob. He told me that one time my dad just took an apple from him, took a bite out of it, and then threw it against the wall next to him. And when he was telling the story, he didn't think it was funny, like he thought it was absolutely the most ridiculous thing anybody'd ever done.
Right.
But I started laughing.
Yeah, because Dad thought it was funny.
That kind of stuff is.
I got to tell you, man. Certainly, our sense of humor comes from our father, unequivocally. What we think is funny, how we say things, how we tell jokes, all of it.
Yeah, there's a dynamic,
right? It's all a little sick too.
And I think we watched him speak a lot at AA meetings growing up.
Yeah,
right. We went to a lot of.
Yeah, but I don't think that's where we learned it. I think we learned it
just generally in the living room.
Yeah, at dinner time, you
know,
farting
at the table.
Before bed, you know.
I guess so.
Right? As he's chasing you back to your bed down the hallway to whack you.
But think about how much AA taught you as far as telling a story, beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Try not to leave out any key details that are frustrating. There were a lot of those stories. Like everybody was a storyteller there.
Oh, back in the day. Yeah.
I just thought that was an interesting kind of influence.
Yeah.
Maybe not dad so much, but AA meetings.
Yeah.
And then going to AA meetings as kids. You're not supposed to do that.
Well, they were
you
like
can't bring your kid to
They were like Alateen.
They were, but we'd sit in on open meetings,
you're right.
you know?
We would.
I'm pretty fucking pissed off today. I'll tell you
you're
what.
Right.
Yeah, my wife's being a bitch.
He's
you know,
right,
you're like, holy
man.
shit.
Hey,
you know?
and you can't talk about what you heard in the meetings.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, and all the names, right? They were
rooms.
Like gangsters, you know, Anxiety John.
Yeah.
Nobody had a last name.
You're right. In the rooms.
Yeah. Angry Freddie. Yeah. There's Angry Fred. Leave him the fuck alone. He's only been sober 10 years. His wife and kids fucking hate him. They wanted to kill him or die.
Oh, jeez.
Right, drunks.
Oh, man.
But really good stories in there, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I think with your
when I was in rehab, I tried telling some of those stories, and they'd blow the whistle. They'd be like, "Oh no, glorification! Oh yeah, glorification!" Like, what the fuck, man? I can't express how much, you know. Just rolling up a doobie, you know. You feel it like kind of the glue's still wet, but it's drying. You put that thing in your mouth and like, ooh, the first pull, you know.
Is that how you were talking, man? You were ruining people's lives.
Ruining people's lives. I was
they were
trying
probably
to get back
drooling
on the gateway.
Yeah,
and I was in with a lot of heroin addicts.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, or OxyContin.
Oh yeah, those are tough, man.
Yeah, I was only in there with 2 drunks, and one looked like Johnny Cash.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm all better now.
Good. That's a good thing. And I'm watching your dad and just cracking up because I'm like, that is the stuff my dad does. Did you guys hear that a lot where it's like, man, that just reminds me of my family?
Yeah, I think that dad reminds everybody of their dad. And because dad, you know,
very much.
Especially from that generation of fathers, it's a different generation. They were brought up different. What was acceptable was a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't care as much about what you thought. Put it that way. Everybody's worried these days about.
Yeah, that greatest generation didn't give a shit about how you felt or anything about his ego, his fragile ego. Well, we want to nurture him. No, they were like iron fisted.
Yeah, you get a whack in front of other people. Yep. They wouldn't even think about it.
For no reason.
Yeah, for no reason.
Just so other people know that you whack your kids like they do.
No, they were never bad. My father was not like that. He was probably tougher verbally growing up.
Oh, I'm talking about like his upbringing.
Oh yeah, his upbringing. Rough. I think his upbringing was a different thing. Or their upbringing.
These guys, a lot of sisters.
The kids got beat in my father's generation, and that was a way of, you know, the old school way of like making sure they were going to turn out okay.
They stayed in line.
Yeah, and I think some people got ruined in the process, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
but they didn't know. Their parents didn't know any better.
No.
See, we're of this.
Plus, you couldn't put your kids on anything. Like everybody's got their kids on everything now. You know.
Yeah, right.
Calm down. Yeah, but like the hyperactive kids aren't as prevalent anymore. You know. Mm-hmm. And I think if I had one of those, I'd beat the shit out of them modern day. You know, and I wouldn't let them take any of those pills either. You know what I mean? Just to be a good parent.
Well, I'll tell you, man. I bet you would, Mike.
I bet I would. I probably would, man. Take them. Take the pills. Take the pills. I gotta sleep.
Your dad was jacked, man.
And
like he still is. If you see clips, he still is. But there's a scene and you're in it. You're
a fan of the show, aren't you?
Yeah, and you were
that's why I brought Nate in.
You were so there's this scene where you're in the gym with him.
I don't trust you anymore.
No?
I'm just kidding. Go on.
Had he always been, I mean, he had to have always been working out because or is it a mix of him constantly working out and just having this natural like strength and build? Because
yeah, no, he always worked out. Well, no, he didn't always work out. He drank a lot back in the early days, and he worked a lot. But, you know, when he got sober, I was 10, so that was 40 years ago. And at that time is when he started paying attention to his health.
Wow.
He started working out, made gym equipment for the basement, and got pretty big, man. When I was in my teen years, actually when I was 14.
We had a pretty extravagant gym.
We did.
All homemade.
We did. Yeah,
that's
together.
cool.
Yeah,
But
all
like
the
all
equipment.
weird stuff. I thought everybody had them in their basement. You know, they just have a dumbbell or something.
Yeah, no,
He had
cable
everything.
machines and everything, because he'd make everything, angle iron, tubing. So he made all the machines.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of our equipment he made at the steel shop.
Dang.
Even made stuff for the gym later on
What-
in the school. But like, you know, as far as benches and, you know, any, you know, dip bars and, you know, cable machines, he made all that. We never bought that.
Yeah.
He would bolt it right to the floor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, man. That's all we ever used.
Incline,
At different
decline.
bars and
cables, everything.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys like, because, you know, you're seeing your dad and he's got all this stuff, did that influence you guys at all?
Well, I
Or did
started
you-
working out with him when I was like 13 or something, 14.
Yeah.
And then we had a powerlifting team. We traveled everywhere in all these different meets for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, dude, we were
American Drug Free Powerlifting Association.
That's right. And I got all kinds of records. I got state and national record for bench press when I was 14.
Yeah, you could bench press like 675 pounds.
No, I think I did. No, when I was 14, I benched like 355.
What?
Yeah, he had mutant strength.
I was 14.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, he's
kidding.
always walking around with like a vest on, like a leather vest with his like Gene Simmons kind of.
Wait, you were 14.
Yeah. I was just when I was in high school, I benched more weight than any of the football players in high school. So, I'm sorry, when I was in middle school, I outbenched everyone in high school pretty much.
Were you like built?
What do you bench now?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I don't even work. I play pickleball. That's all I do anymore.
all you
I
need
should.
to
I
do.
want to get back into the gym because I feel like I got to start building that up because it's going to be harder and harder to hold on to it as I get older. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we traveled. We had a great team of people. We won a lot of meets.
They were fun. A lot of people farting, high protein.
Oh man,
We would
That's
have
why we're on the trip.
We had a Tuttle shuttle. We had the van.
Yeah, we had a
We had a
maroon van with all the
Yeah,
trimming,
conversion van.
TV, VCR.
inside, VCR.
Yeah,
the
We-
Tuttle
I think I-
shuttle.
The Tuttle shuttle, man. That was my high
Tuttle
school.
shuttle,
That was
yeah.
my high school ride. That's what I brought my senior year. That's how I got back and forth to school. That was quite a fun.
that was probably a shagging
Experience.
wagon. We're not talking. I don't know anything. I was too young.
Were you involved with the lifting too? I mean, that blows my mind. But I didn't know any of that.
Yeah,
about
we
you.
were hardcore, man.
All of
you?
us lifted. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
we
all of
all
our
lifted.
friends, everybody was just something I think we did because there wasn't much to do. And then you'd spend your other time like polluting your system, you know, drinking 40s outside the $1.50 movie theater.
So it kind of like
yeah, you got to lift. and you would even it out then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you were young, you could kind of bounce back.
Yeah, man. I remember like just playing football and working out and traveling and powerlifting. We would do different. We would do the triple lifts, deadlift, squat, and bench as well, but mostly bench press competitions. They were all over. It was popular back then, like because it was like a thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
And man, it was all kinds of crazy. We'd go to all these different crazy events. And the team, we would have so much fun on the road, man.
Yeah,
Nick
lots of laughs.
Sakalis was so much fun. There was this guy, Nick Sakalis. He had a good bench. He was a big Greek guy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something. He was like the fun. You know when people have no filter at all, and it's
Yeah,
just how
he's like
it's
a
where they
potty mouth Greek.
yeah, like
Good guy though.
Yeah,
Really good guy.
But
Sweet.
just saying crazy things
Yeah, saying outlandish.
and being really funny, you know, like in public and stuff. Yeah, we had a fun travel. We had a good team, man.
You should have Nick on. That guy will
Should.
talk for 6 hours.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Nick
like
the
muzzle
Greek,
a guy.
man. They eat blue jays over there. No, I shouldn't say that.
Sparrows.
Yeah, they did. I'm telling you, man. I saw a blue jay in the fridge.
Really? Oh, jeez. Those are big birds.
It's okay though. Oh gosh, man. And Nick would be. He's the kind of guy that he would like go into the house and then you would walk down the hallway and he would be taking a dump with the door open.
Yep.
He never
Hey,
closed
come
the
on in
door.
here.
Didn't matter if there was 20 people there. He
Yeah,
never
like
closed
mixed
the door.
company?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Some people can't, because my old roommate, he always left the door open when he was taking a shit. and he just couldn't shit without the door open.
Wow.
Yeah, like there's a certain feeling of openness and freedom that
Really?
leads into the next room that helps your bowels
Things move? Wow,
Yeah.
man. I feel the
I was
very
like,
opposite.
What the fuck are you doing? Because I'm sharing rent with this guy, What are you doing?
He's like, come on in.
Yeah, it was Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You shouldn't have said his name. He's not going to be happy with you. And Andy ended up being one of our guys
Yep.
on the crew.
A premier cameraman.
Right. But
Director
he
of
came up.
photography.
Yeah, but he was at first, he was a PA.
First, he was a PA, worked up, camera assistant, and now he is not only a cameraman, but a director of photography.
Yeah, man. So he came up through the show. A lot of people came up through the show.
Yeah.
They got their careers started on American Chopper.
Yep. And they owe us.
They owe us money.
We should have a call in right now. call up all our producers.
Yeah. Yeah. Caller?
Yeah. Hello.
What about sports? You said you played football.
I played football. I was like a good football player.
What position?
I'm fullback and linebacker,
Dang.
inside linebacker
Both
and
you went-
fullback. Yeah, I played. Well, so in my school, we had my senior year, we had like 18 kids on the team, and
wow.
we'd play schools that had like 54, 74 kids, 4 strings.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember we played like Monroe Woodbury, and the ref, but we came out to the field to do like the coin toss.
Rival team, right?
Yeah,
or a
rival-
league team that would win the states a lot.
Yeah, like they were just so much bigger than us. And the ref said, "Hey, listen, okay, however it shook out, he said, look, if anyone gets hurt, you got to forfeit the game." That's how we started the game.
Oh wow.
Because we couldn't have less than 18 kids to
Right.
play. You know what I'm saying?
And how do you do that with football? It's like,
Oh, dude, it was brutal, but I loved it, man. I love football. I love fullback. I love linebacker. I was captain of the team from when I started playing until my last senior year. So I was captain of the team every year I think I started playing in 6th grade and stopped playing and I played my senior year.
wow, captain, fullback. So
Yeah.
you're scoring touchdowns and making sacks.
Touchdowns, crushing heads, getting concussions, breaking fingers.
Dang.
breaking my
Yeah,
own
he was an
fingers.
animal.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, he was an animal.
I was an animal.
He was an
Man.
animal.
I had like I was really hard to take down, and I hit people as hard as I could every time, and it would wear people out sometimes. I even wore myself out a few times.
Sure. I remember one time you got hit and you had a concussion. No
I
doubt.
did. Probably a couple times.
Yeah, but it was on like a kickoff. That's when you could really melee somebody.
Oh, you can
right?
melee
Yeah.
someone,
Full
dude. That's where you
speed.
get lit. Oh, no. They moved me up to varsity,
Oh,
and just for a game, and they were putting me on special teams, and it was like a kickoff return, dude, and I was like watching the guy running with the ball. I was back a little further, dude, and some big guy just leveled me, man. First play, varsity.
Oh man.
Cleaned my clock, dude. I was out. I mean, he must have saw a mark,
oh yeah.
So, but I was a big kid, man. I was always really strong. And,
Well, I can tell.
and fast for my size.
But I think you should have went to the hospital that time.
Yeah, I probably should
You
have.
were like on the
had so many
sidelines,
concussions.
clueless.
My ears
He
are
was
still
looking at
ringing.
his hands. He just had his hand on his legs. I felt bad for him. I remember, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tuttle, back in the game.
No, but this was before concussions mattered.
This is before
concussions
CTE.
were expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like heat exhaustion was
Yeah.
what you
know.
expected during
Yeah.
practice.
You went and puked, drank some
if you
water,
didn't
get back
puke,
in
you
there.
weren't practicing. Now, like, good Lord, if it's like a 10% humidity, they bring you in and they sit you
come on.
down
We're going
in the
down
air
to the basement.
conditioning.
We're going to the basement of
Which I understand. People did, sometimes kids overheat or stuff. It's been a little unsafe in the past, but we certainly come from that old school way of, doing triples in the summer, 90 degrees when we were in camp for football.
or
Yeah.
the bull ring. They
Yeah.
outlawed that.
Did they?
Yeah.
Where you just keep crushing
Yeah,
people.
like blows. Yeah, like the coach gives everybody a number in a circle, and the guy in the middle was chopping his legs, going in a circle himself, and at random he gets hit.
Yep.
Yep, I remember.
So you get blindsided a lot.
Oh yeah, man.
I can't see where that helps, but it was nice hitting somebody.
So you play too?
I did, but I didn't like it.
You didn't like
Mike's
it?
not a killer, man.
Not a killer.
Paul
Not
Jr.
in that
He's a
regard.
killer.
He's a
Paul
lover.
Jr. is a
Mike,
killer.
I'm a killer at
He's
heart.
since channeled it
I'm a
into
very-
pickleball.
Right.
Right now, I am.
Yeah.
Goes to the
I have
lodge
a
and he
real
beats the
competitive-
stuffing out of like 85-year-old women. From
It's true.
how he
It's
hustles.
true.
Have you checked out the new indoor one?
I was there the other day.
How is it there?
It's great, man.
Yeah?
Fun. I wish I was there right now. No offense to you fellas.
No, none taken.
Cool.
It's really good, man. It's beautiful inside. It's 5 minutes from here, and it's conditioned, air conditioned, and heated in the winter. So
No wind.
no
Right.
wind. It's nice. Actually, I just got back in. I took 2 months off. I got like a pickleball elbow thing and then we got busy with trying to get out of our house and buying another house. And so I just took 2 months off and I just got back into it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to get back into it, but I'm already hooked.
Yeah, you bit.
Yeah.
Bit by the bug.
And I was overdoing it. So I needed the 2 months off because for like a year I was playing way too much. I got good.
Yeah.
But it takes its toll, you know what I mean? Like I would play two hours hard, and then they would be like, "Hey, we got these guys coming in. You want to stay and play?" And I'd end up playing like 4 hours.
Dang.
Of like
Yeah, that's a lot.
nonstop, and it's too much. And I overdid it. So I'm trying to go like every other day now.
No,
you know?
okay. That's still good.
Yeah.
Active.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I got to just move. But I felt so good being there. It relieves a lot of stress too.
Big time.
Because I'm a very physical player, so I go for everything. I'm
Very
all over the
person.
court, you know. I'm a stressful person. Yeah, but no, when it comes to football, man, you know, Michael would have been really good, but he just didn't like to hurt people.
No, I don't want to hit somebody.
You gotta be okay
I
with
like
hurting
backyard
someone.
football.
Yeah.
It's funny. You want to hit your friends.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
You
cool.
don't feel as bad.
No,
No, not at
no,
all.
because you're like something they said last night. you know?
Yep.
Take it out on them.
Yeah. Right.